In this session, we will discuss about Christian's and Berkeley's algorithm, which help us in synchronization in distributed system. Starting with the Christian's algorithm. So what is this Christian's algorithm? Now, whenever in a distributed system, a client wants to correct its time based on the server time. So in this case, a client will always make a request to the server asking for the server time. So we will see how Christian's algorithm helps us to synchronize the time. Now the Christian's algorithm makes use of the physical clock algorithm. It is based on the client server model. It makes use of RPC and also UTC, that is Coordinated Universal Time. Now we will assume that we have a client P and a server S. Now client P wants to correct its time based upon the time server. So now client P will issue an RPC to the server and obtain the time. So client makes a request at T0 in D by 2 seconds. So what is this D? So D is the maximum difference between the local clock of the client and the UTC of the server. So at time T0, a request is made by the client P requesting for the server time. At time T1, there is a response which goes from the server to the client. Now, the response that is sent to the client is the current UTC of the time server. We assume that the delay from T0 to T1 is Ts. Now, how do we calculate the accuracy? The new time that is sent to the client will be calculated as T1 minus T0 divided by 2 plus Ts, which is the time difference that it took to process the request by the client. So this will be the new time that is sent to the client. The Christian's algorithm in brief. So we have a server S, that is our time server. So basically this server will process the request that is made by the client and return the current UTC to the client. So after receiving request, the server prepares the response and appends TS to it. So TS is nothing but the time duration that it took to process the request made by the client. And the current or the new time of the client would be this value. That is T1 minus T0 divided by 2 plus the Ts. That would be the new time of the client. Moving on to the next algorithm, that is the Berkeley's algorithm. Now the Berkeley's algorithm is based on the concept of master-slave. We know that master or slave both can either run slow or fast. That means there is difference in the time between the master and the slave. So basically our Berkeley's algorithm is also a clock synchronization technique which is used in the distributed system. Now in this algorithm, it assumes that each machine in the node in the network either does not have an accurate time source or does not possess an UTC server. So we make an assumption over here that the UTC server is not there. So when the UTC server is not there, then how will it coordinate with the time? Or how will it synchronize the time across the machines? We'll try and understand the Berkeley's algorithm. Let's have a look at the algorithm step by step. Step 1. An individual node is chosen as the master node from a pool of nodes. That means we will have n number of nodes in the Berkeley's algorithm, and one of the nodes will be chosen as the master, and the remaining nodes will serve as the slave node. So whatever action will be taken by the master node. Second step. Now this node is the main node in the network. The master node is the main node in the network which acts as the master, and the rest of the nodes acting as the slave. Step 3. The master node is chosen using an election algorithm. Okay. Now this election algorithms we will see as we move ahead with synchronization. Okay. Next step. The master node periodically pings the slave nodes and fetches clock time of them using the Christian's algorithm. So basically what happens is this master node will ping the first slave, second slave and the last slave and try to find out what is the time on this slave, second slave and the third slave. Now we have seen this diagram. We have a master and we have a slave and number of slaves. This is our master node, this is the slave nodes. So what in the earlier step we have seen that the master will ping for the time from slave 1, ping for the time from slave 2, slave 3 and slave n. Okay. So after pinging for the time, slave 1 will return the time to the master, slave 2 also will return the time to master, slave 3 also, and slave n also will return the time to the master. So now what the master does is, master calculates the average time. Average time differences between all the clock times received by the clock time given by the master system clock itself. So basically what the master does is, it calculates the average time difference between all the clocks. In the last step, the average time difference is added to the current time at master system clock. So whatever is the average distance time difference will be added to the master system clock, and that current time will be broadcasted over the entire network, passing the new time to all the slaves. We'll try and understand with the help of a figure. Before that, we'll see the pseudo code. So the first thing is receiving time from all the slave nodes. Okay. So what the master does is, it repeats this particular process for all the slaves. Okay. That is, receive time at each slave, that is of in the entire network. It will try to find out what is the time of each slave node. Okay. Then the time difference will be calculated based on this formula, that is time at the master node minus the time that is received by the sent by the slave node. That would be the time difference between the master and the first slave. Similarly with the master and the second slave, master and the third slave, master and the last slave. Finally, the current master time will be taken plus the average time difference between all the slave nodes will be taken, added it to the current time, and this new current time will be synchronized across all the nodes. So basically the last step is nothing but the broadcast of the same time to all the slave nodes. So here we have the master node. Okay. Now this master node is requesting for the time from slave 1, requesting for time from slave 2, requesting time for slave 3 and its own time. Now next what happens is, the master time is 3 in this case. In this case slave 1 has written the time as 310. Here it has written the time as 250. Here it has written the time as 320. So slave 1 is ahead by 10. Here it is lagging by 10 and here it is ahead by 20. So what it will do is, it will calculate the average, okay, and then come up to a final value and send this current value to the slave 1. So after calculating the average, it comes to a new synchronized time, that is 3-5, which will be sent to slave 1, sent to slave 2 and sent to slave 3. Another example, we have the master over here. The master tells the other machine and it is asking for the time of the other machines. So here we can see that the time of the master is this value, here it is some different value, and here it is some other value. In return, it replies back the response with how much lag or what is the difference between the master and the slave. So here the difference is plus 25, here it is minus 10. So after taking the average of all this, the new time will be sent to the slave nodes. Thus it helps us in synchronizing the time across this entire network in a distributed system. So finally, the average, after calculating the average, the new time is broadcasted to the slave nodes. So here the master is also 3-5, the slave is also 3-5. So now the slave also will adjust their clock according to the master clock.